Nigeria and Liberia to chart a new course for improved investment, trade, and other bilateral relations. Nigeria's Senate stops implementation of the new electricity tariff regime. And the federal government insists Boko Haram remains largely decimated. Welcome to NTA Network News. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar.
Ebola, Nigeria stood by Liberia.
She said the government and people of Liberia are deeply concerned over the continuous loss of lives in Nigeria as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency, but expressed delight over the ability of the Buhari administration to successfully degrade the terror group.
I came to renew the strong bond of friendship, to talk about the Joint Commission and how we can make it a more effective instrument to see Liberia and Nigeria as strong friends.
President Muhammadu Buhari congratulated President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf for the progress made in her country's economy and security as a result of democracy.
And I assure her that still with the presence of Nigerian military there, we will continue to do our best to continue the stability, to make sure that we rehabilitate our industries and get our economies back on track.
The president made a case for ECOWAS leaders to ensure that the elections to be held in 5 of its member countries this year are peacefully conducted.
What affects any of the country or regions affects all of us. So it is in our own interest to discuss and see how we can support individual countries for the elections that are coming.
President Muhammadu Buhari also spoke of the need for ECOWAS and the economic community of Central African states to fashion effective strategies towards taming sub-regional infiltration and attacks by terrorists.
Effects of which, you know, in the northeast, for the last 2 planting seasons, they have been planted, much less harvest. So virtually there is starvation. And we went over all these things that affect both of us and our region and the continent.
President Johnson Sirleaf, who became the president of Liberia in 2006, is now in her 2nd term in office, expected to last till 2018. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says the federal government is desirous of every possible assistance in the task of providing humanitarian services to the internally displaced persons, as well as rebuilding the infrastructure in the badly devastated northeast geopolitical zone as a result of insurgency. He stated this at a separate audience with some members of the British Parliament and the Greek medical charity organization. Here again is Adamu Sambo.
Receiving the Greek medical charity organization, also known as Heart Doctors, President Muhammadu Buhari said the federal government is working hard to secure and rehabilitate communities ravaged by the Boko Haram insurgency. He said with over 2 million internally displaced persons, comprising 60% orphan children, the task is enormous, but with perseverance and commensurate resources, the challenges are surmountable. The president therefore called on the non-governmental organizations and international aid agencies to complement government efforts at providing desired services in the devastated Northeast region. Leader of the Greek medical charity organization, Professor Xenophon Yataganas, told the president that since 2002, the organization has been involved in rebuilding schools and distributing medicines and food at IDP camps in Nigeria. Exchanging views with a team of British members of parliament led by Honorable Chi Onwurah, the president said Nigeria expects a lot from Britain in her rebuilding process due to affinity shared by the two countries. He lamented that Nigeria relied on mono-economic product for too long, and with the falling oil prices, it found herself in a difficult phase of development. The president said the country now has no alternative than to embrace mining and agriculture in his economic diversification program, saying the expectations from Britain is now high. Leader of the team, a Nigerian-born British parliamentarian from Newcastle, Honorable Chi Onwurah, said members are in Nigeria to promote positive engagement between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. She is particular about how diaspora can support the economic progress of Nigeria as well as trade promotion and diversification of the economy. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Still at the presidential villa, it was a busy day for President Muhammadu Buhari this Tuesday as he played host to a broad spectrum of Nigerians. Again, Adamu Sambo has all the stories.
Prominent among those granted audience by President Muhammadu Buhari was the newly crowned Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II.
He's a progressive president. It's about progress and peace of the nation, which he stands for and I stand for. So that's the main objective of this meeting.
Oba Adeyeye also said that discussions with the president centered on youth empowerment and the development of agriculture as cardinal principles of the present administration.
The crude oil price is going down astronomically, but the cocoa price went up over 100% and nobody noticed it. That's another positive indicator for the nation economy. So we've been able to assemble over 200,000 youths. It's unbelievable within a space of 30 days. And we're giving them 5 acres per youth so that they will go back to the farm. And the federal government is supporting us very well. So it's going to be a model that will be
held behind closed doors were not made public. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
While receiving the honor of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi in his office, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo described the accession to the throne by the Oba as this time as not just symbolic, but with deep implications. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has details.
Of the honor of Ife to the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo after a courtesy call on the president will be remembered for a long time, even by the media, who for the first time had unfettered access to the Vice President's meeting with dignitaries. The Vice President described the monarch as a rare gem that represents a new way of thinking and who has introduced a new concept in the way to relate to power and authority in the Nigerian society. He noted that steps taken so far by the Oni are not just symbolic, but those with implications.
I think that one of the key things that we have learned from leadership and one of the key leadership skills that he has taught, that his approach has taught us, is that you have to make contact, even with people and with authorities who in the past may have been considered adverse or adversaries one way or the other.
He commends the monarch for the role he is playing in giving the youth a new focus in life.
Eventually, when history is written, it will be said that your time in office and is one that has greatly benefited the young people of this country.
For the man who has dedicated his throne to the youths of the country, Oba Enito Adeyeye Adejare Ogunwusi Ojaja II called on Nigerians to give total support to the Buhari administration, saying the lofty ideas of the government will lead the country out of the woods.
we should think in a positive manner, encourage them, because we actually have good leaders right now.
Also of equal importance is the call on Nigerians not to abandon their heritage.
Nigeria, as a nation, we're known for the best producer of sculptures made from brass and terracotta. That's another virtue we've lost.
Meanwhile, the Vice President, in a courtesy visit by the Nigerian Association of Law Teachers, had the opportunity to assure Nigerians that everything possible will be done towards assisting the judiciary return to its former glory. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
From the State House to the National Assembly, Senate has passed a resolution urging the National Electricity Regulatory Commission and other relevant bodies to suspend forthwith the implementation of the recent increase in the electricity tariff. This followed a motion sponsored by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Labor and Employment and Productivity, Senator Suleiman Nazif. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Garba Kudu reports.
In a motion under matters of urgent national importance, Senator Suleiman Nazif led other senators to condemn the tariff increase, which they say Nigerians were not widely consulted.
The distribution companies, DISCOs, have continued to exploit Nigerians by estimating estimated billing system for majority of consumers while deliberately refusing to make up prepaid meters available.
Even in my own house, I have not been in the last 4 weeks. They brought a bill for me. They said I should pay 100,000, Mr. President. For me, this tariff increase is ultra wicked, it's unconscionable, as the heart of insensitivity.
The lawmakers thereafter agreed to conduct a public hearing which will involve all stakeholders before arriving at an approved electricity tariff for Nigerians, as well as lead to the review of the act establishing the electricity regulatory body. Also at Tuesday's plenary, Senators received interim progress report on the 2016 budget from the Chairman Appropriation Committee, Senator Muhammad Danjuma Goji.
Within 1 week from next week Tuesday, or thereabout, we may conclude getting the reports, then we'll try to harmonize with our counterpart in the House of Reps with a view to finally submitting the clean copy of the budget.
I'll put question that we extend 1 more week to allow the committees to engage with the MDAs, correct any areas that needs correction, so that we ensure that the document we're dealing with is as accurate as possible and truly represent the wish of the people.
5 bills, including 2 executive bills on money laundering and that for the establishment of the FCT Civil Service Commission, were read for the first time. Annual report from Auditor General of the Federation was also led at the plenary by the Senate Committee on Public Accounts. Senate reconvenes plenary on Tuesday, February 23rd. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is to investigate the alleged non-remittance of workers' contributory pension deductions to specified pension assets custodians. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onko reports that this is one of the resolutions of the House upon resumption of plenary this Tuesday.
Since the establishment of the contributory pension scheme by the federal government in 2004, the program has had a number of setbacks. Thus, members of the House of Representatives resumed for plenary on Tuesday, the 16th of February 2016. One of the motions adopted was that to investigate the alleged non-remittance of the contributory pension fund deducted from workers' salaries, as moved by Representative Joseph Edionwole from Edo State.
So we are saying that they should investigate and sanction those ministries and departments and even private sectors.
The House also adopted a motion moved by Representative Aliu Madaki from Kano State, urging the Federal Ministry of Aviation to lift the suspension placed on commercial operations of Emirates Airlines from Kano and other neighboring states.
It will assist those passengers and business development in the whole of northern Nigeria.
Not only services these people, but it also services the other 50 million people that are living within the Northwest.
In line with the prayers of the motion, our Committee on Aviation to ensure that this matter is resolved within a week.
The Deputy Speaker Yusuf Lasson also announced his election as the first Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament.
I want to use this opportunity to thank the leadership of the two houses, the National Assembly and my colleagues, for the support that have been given in the last 2 weeks.
Away from plenary, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has assured Nigerian youth that the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is working seriously to create jobs for unemployed Nigerians. He gave the assurance when he granted audience to a contingent of unemployed pilots and aeronautic engineers from Bauchi State led by Captain Bala Jibrin.
And to be candid, all hands are on deck. And I sincerely believe
equipment.
Alhaji Lai Mohammed said there are plans to make culture a major source of revenue for the country by equipping and constructing cultural centers across the country.
With the dwindling economy, especially the oil price of the crude, we can use culture also to create more jobs, create more economy.
The Minister of Information also said though the proposed budget is not enough, they will follow the template of the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. Chairman of the Information and National Orientation Committee, Olusegun Odebumi, then wondered how the proposed budget can cater for the 21 agencies under the ministry.
They finance their capital budgets from their own internally generated revenue, which of course they also always bring also to National Assembly for appropriation.
Various acting heads of 4 agencies under the ministry also defended their budgets before the Committee on Information and National Orientation. From the National Assembly, Grace Oyenubi, NTA News.
The federal government says the recent spate of attacks by Boko Haram is not an indication of any resurgence by the terrorists, insisting that the terrorist group remain largely decimated, dispersed, and disorientated. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at a media briefing in Abuja. Anthony Folsom has the report.
The Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, who said, with the web and flow of insurgency, such attacks on soft targets shouldn't erode the successes achieved.
Gentlemen, there is no resurgence of Boko Haram. The terrorists remain massively degraded and largely defeated. The recent string of attacks is not an indication that Boko Haram is bouncing back. But first, we want to appeal to all not to say or do anything that will demoralize our gallant men and women in uniform who are fighting daily and sometimes paying the supreme price so that we can all be safe.
While strongly condemning the attacks and commiserating with the families of those killed, the minister appealed for caution in comments being made over the attacks so as not to inadvertently provide succor for Boko Haram, who thrive on propaganda.
While these efforts are ongoing, the government enjoins members of the public to be vigilant, to be security conscious, and to cooperate with security agencies by providing information on suspicious and strange objects.
Lai Mohammed said, in line with the Buhari-led administration's respect for human rights and the rule of law, the prosecution of the war on terrorism is being guided strictly.
This government, even in its own rule of engagement, has the highest respect for the rule of law and for international laws and treaty. And I think the release of these 200 suspected terrorists is again a pointer in that direction.
The minister maintained that the federal government is working to end the spate of attacks, especially against vulnerable communities, by improvising measures that are in line with best global practices. In Abuja, Anthony Folsom, NTA News.
Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo has restated the federal government's commitment to the protection of the fundamental human rights of the citizenry, in addition to the entrenchment of accountability and fairness in its dealings. He stated this when members of the Amnesty International visited him in his office in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf has the report.
Amnesty International's objective aims at conducting research and generate action to prevent and end abuses of human rights, as well as demand justice for those whose rights have been violated. In the last few years, it has released some reports indicting Nigeria of gross violation of fundamental human rights of the citizenry, especially in the face of the insurgency in the northeast, where the military had to cohabit with the civilians.
Nigerians deserve to see justice.
The Minister of Interior disclosed that a special committee is already constituted by government to look into all reports of human rights violations. He, however, assured Amnesty International that their reports may not be 100% true as presented.
This government is for fundamental principles of democracy, transparency, accountability, rule of law, and human rights.
We already have technical platforms, that ensure that the conduct of policemen is accountable to the members of the public to which they serve.
In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Another controversy has ensued in Kogi State as two factions in the House of Assembly are laying claim to the speakership of the state legislature. Some members, after a closed-door meeting in the Assembly chamber Tuesday, announced the removal of the Speaker, Momo Jimo Lawal. The member representing Igalamela Odolu, Elder Friday Sani Makama, said 7 members constituting 2/3 of the 20-member House endorsed the removal. The faction named Imam Mohammed, representing Lokoja 1 constituency, as the new speaker. Meanwhile, the embattled speaker, Momo Jimolawal, says he remains the speaker of the Kogi State House of Assembly. Federal government moves to make NIPOST economically viable. Details after this break.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We must kill corruption before corruption will kill us.
If your leader is a kind of person that you look at him and say, if it is so and so, I'm okay. You can go to sleep, you close your 2 eyes and sleep. Then you know you are making progress.
Now you have a leader who will not condone corruption at all. He has zero tolerance of corruption. That alone makes some kind of fear for every Nigerian now.
The most critical index that we should look at is attitudinal change, moral education, respect for law and order. These two have disappeared from Nigeria. Now, this is what we must emphasize in the new Nigeria that we must leave behind.
Yes, this is the clarion call in the vanguard for a new Nigeria.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new way of life and exquisite standard of living. Enjoy your own originally designed and quality-built home in the serene and secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
Most people avoid the tough jobs. We're different. We're not here to complain that things are broken. We're here to fix them. You need someone that will take the tough decisions and stand by their word. To do that, you need the best of the best. Physically, mentally. So it doesn't matter if it's creating opportunities or supporting economies. We know it's a tough job. But hey, somebody's got to do it. We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
Afe Babalola University, Abuja, has set up a panel to investigate the remote and immediate causes of the unprovoked unrest embarked upon by about 200 students of the university on Sunday, February 7, 2016, during which property worth 120.5 million naira was destroyed. Sole investigator, Mr. Tuyi Bello, a security consultant and former chief security officer, University of Ibadan. Venue, Talent Discovery Center, Abuja. Date, Monday, February 22, 2016. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. Written memoranda containing suggestions should be sent to Bosundipe at abua.edu.ng before the close of work on Friday, February 19, 2016. Those who want to appear in person before the panel are free to do so. Sitting begins at 9 a.m. on Monday, 2nd February 2016. We seize this opportunity to thank the parents of the responsible 5,800 students who did not participate in the wanton act of vandalism.
Abuja, a vision in motion.
Nigeria will hello. For 2017, Nigeria will join body with every other country for this world to enter the battle what they call digital broadcasting. This digital broadcasting is better part those time when we say we go outside go the Tonton TV and not be that one. You go sit down for your comfort now. You go watch better. The TV go clear way. The people with this side go clear way. The sound man go come out well. The channel say go increase the local TV waiting for the Obodo Nigeria side go come out face where we come clear well. My people. Nigeria, they enter digital.
The Vice-Chancellor, University of Nigeria, Professor Benjamin Ozumba, cordially invites the general public to the 45th convocation ceremony of the University of Nigeria. The events are as follows. Thursday, 18th February 2016, convocation lecture by the Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Ibeka Chukwu, titled The Petroleum Industry and the Future of the Nigerian Nation. Time, 11 a.m. at Princess Alexandria Auditorium and Unity Hall. Friday, 19th February, conferment of first degrees, diplomas and certificates. Time, 9 a.m. Saturday, 20th February, conferment of postgraduate diplomas, higher degrees, Professor Emeritus, and award of honorary degrees. Sunday, 21st February, Thanksgiving service at St. Peter's Chaplaincy, UNN. Time, 10 a.m. Announcer, Professor Malaki Ike-Okweze, Chairman, Senate Ceremonials Committee.
Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate will undertake the validation of all next of kin verified by the National Pension Commission between 2008 and 2012. The exercise is for validation of information already obtained to enable payment of the next of kins without hindrance. The next of kins verified by PENCON are to come along with all necessary documents, including the originals and photocopies of the documents. Sick or infirm next of kins should contact PTART through the telephone number 0800 22557823. The validation exercise will be from 18th to 20th February 2016 as advertised in
have departments of banking or financial activities.
At the Nigerian Communications Satellite NICOMSAT, the minister emphasized the need for the manager and operator of the nation's commercial satellite to be more effective in view of its usefulness in the sub-Saharan Africa.
That we are already making efforts since we came on board to ensure that we get foreign financiers to assist with loans to build a second and possibly a third satellite in orbit so that we can be rest assured that we have enough capacity to host the entire world.
The last outing of NICOMSAT was in 2012 when it commissioned the direct-to-home DHT Center. In Abuja, Ruben Okala, NTA News.
Besides trade, industrialization is key in the policy thrust of the Buhari administration. Nigeria aims to achieve this through an enduring and effective partnership with other nations of the world. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, stated this while interacting with a UK trade delegation who are in Nigeria. Amine Oden reports.
The trade delegation, composed of experts from oil and gas, mining, agriculture, real estate, education, science and technology, as well as social works, health, vocational skills, and the political class, centered their discourse on how ultimately to bring foreign direct investment into Nigeria. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, said government will at all-time high sustain trade relations with UK to achieve the most desired diversification of the economy with the provision of an enabling environment.
We certainly want to build the ties we have had with countries like the UK in a way that is meaningful, particularly when both sides have economic objectives are trying to attain and where there is mutuality of interest.
Leader of the delegation, Chi Onwura, said the team is in Nigeria to explore possible areas to boost trade links for economic development between the UK and Nigeria, not just in agricultural products, but finished goods and other services.
We're looking at many different sectors, many different industries, all wanting to do business and to do partnerships with Nigeria and the UK.
We want to make it in such a way that every 3 months we'll have a business trip
an investment delegation coming to Nigeria in different quarters.
The trade desk of the Nigerian High Commission in London was commended for putting together the trade delegation mission to Nigeria. In Abuja, Omini Odan, NTA News.
The refusal of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to further devalue the Nigerian currency and President Muhammadu Buhari's stance that devaluation of the Naira will not help Nigeria is fueling a national debate. A team of financial experts were on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria to suggest possible options available to government on the issue of devaluation of the Naira. Ngofan Chaji monitored the program.
Financial experts unanimously agree that devaluation of the Naira is not the way to go, but stressed the need for the CBN to put on ground sustainable policies to support the Naira and guide import substitution. This is as the gap between the official rate of the dollar and that of the parallel market widens.
We need to enact policies that will increase our export drive. For instance, all the exporters in this country are being owed a lot of money on their export expansion grants. I mean, they're complaining that close to about 150 billion is being owed them. Now, why don't you resolve this problem? Because if you do, at least the non-oil exporters can begin to bring in another close to $4 to $5 billion every year for you.
We should do a floating exchange rate, but manage floating within a certain defined band that the CBN can determine.
I think that the CBN must put on their searchlight on the bank. And if they can get this, I can tell you that the dollar will be dethroned gradually.
They also emphasized that the CBN should tackle the distortions in the parallel market, as this will reduce speculations and panic buying. Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
Assistant Inspector General of Police rewards brave police officers, and Governor Ambode opens a civic engagement center. Vera in our Lagos Network Center has all the details. Hello, Vera. Over to you.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. 8 police officers have been rewarded for displaying exceptional bravery in the line of duty. The Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 2, Bala Hassan, at a ceremony in Lagos, charged them to remain loyal and dedicated to duty. Tola Adebule was there.
These 8 distinguished police officers are largely responsible for the safe and crime-free highways citizens experienced last December. Their presence on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway kept men of the underworld at bay, as they also nabbed some of these evil perpetrators after a heated gun battle on the 23rd of December. This act of bravery did not only earn them recognition in the eyes of the public, but also a certificate of gallantry and cash reward from the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2, Bala Hassan.
We have intensified patrol on that axis, and that is what paid off. That is why you saw late last year members of one gang have been decimated, but I believe more gangs will come on that way, and we have encouraged the member, giving them this special commendation certificate for gallantry.
Bala Hassan further reiterated his commitment to stop at nothing in ensuring the safety of lives and properties of the citizens. In Lagos, Tola Adebule, NTA News.
The Civic Engagement Office of the Lagos State Government has opened in Lagos. The office, which serves as a feedback center for residents on government policies, programs, and activities, was declared open by the Deputy Governor, Olorunti Adebule, on behalf of the Governor. Dr. Oguyemi completes the report.
Among some of the duties and responsibilities of the Office of Civic Engagement is to advise the Governor on political and legislative issues, as well as gather feedback and responses from the populace on any issue affecting them. According to the Governor, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Olorunti Adebule, called on Lagos residents to take advantage of the office in reaching out to the government.
You see, when the Excellency the Governor was sworn in May, he made a promise that this office will be created. That promise he has fulfilled.
Special Advisor to the Governor, Office of Civic Engagement, Kehinde Joseph, while speaking, said the office would be fair in its engagement and respond to them swiftly.
We have our Twitters, we have our Facebook, we have open page in respect of Office of Civic Engagement.
Lagos residents are therefore enjoined to reach out to the Office of Civic Engagement on WhatsApp or text message. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyami, NTA News.
This is the Lagos Network Center of the NTA. More reports ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this time out. Stay with us.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You can't hurry love, no, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy. It's a game of give and take. No, I can't bear to live my life alone. I grow up patient for a love to come my own. But when I feel that I can't go on, these precious words keeps me hanging on. You can't hurry love, no, you
We are back with more names and personalized messages on our bottles and cans. So now you can share a Coke and a feeling with family and friends.
With Capri-Sun, the minions are let loose. Now, limited edition Minions pouches. Great free gifts inside every carton. Collect Minions magnets, activity sets, goggles, beach balls, keychains, toys and photo frames. Capri-Sun, naturally fun.
House of Cheese.
Auntie.
Hello, my dear. I see you went shopping with your mom, right? And what did you buy?
Power oil. It has 0 cholesterol and 0 trans fats. And contains vitamin A and natural vitamin E. It's a healthy oil for a healthy family.
I'll buy Power Oil next time I go shopping, huh?
Power Oil, healthy for you.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new way of life and exquisite standard of living. Enjoy your own originally designed and quality-built home in the serene and secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
It's Duracell versus ordinary batteries. Let's dance. When up to 10 ordinary batteries aren't enough, just one Duracell does the job. Duracell lasts longer, up to 10 times longer.
Or labeling, none of that changes. It's just about reducing the cost of doing business.
And a quick look at how the equities market fared at the close of Tuesday's trading. That concludes today's package. Many thanks for watching. I am Chiazola Ekiye.
National Human Rights Commission has reiterated its commitment towards ensuring that citizens' rights are not violated. Executive Secretary Professor Ben Angwe stated this while addressing some internally displaced persons who staged a protest in Abuja. Olajide Bello has details.
The internally displaced persons from Sunshine Estates, Abuja, came in their numbers to channel their complaints to the National Human Rights Commission in a peaceful protest. Displaying placards with different inscriptions, Ali Abubakar throws more light on what prompted the protest.
I think maybe they fight in between one of our member and the other. So when she go and complain, or I don't know, to the military people, they come on that very day, come and arrest our chairman and our 4 members.
He, however, appealed to National Human Rights Commission to intervene and get their members released. Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, Professor Bem Angwe, promised that the commission will investigate the incidents.
On the 18th, we'll meet with NEMA and we'll meet with other stakeholders, the security people and everybody, and we're going to take a decision about your conditions and your suffering here.
In Abuja, Olajide Bello.
Incredible rerun.
It's time for us to now address the politics of building.
I do not think that arming youths should ordinarily be the way to choose leaders.
Politicians should be able, even when they seek to advance their interests, but it should be within a context. The context of truth, the context of justice.
If the only way I win an election is through violence, I don't want to win it.
22 candidates will participate in the rerun for the State Assembly. 12 will be contesting for both the House of Representatives and the Senate. The election has been scheduled for March 19th. In Port Harcourt, Dibabari Siedoma, NTA News.
And that's the bit from here. It's back now to Abuja for the rest of the news.
As part of Nigeria's commitment to good democratic practices in Africa, the federal government has provided logistic support to the Republic of Niger to promote all-inclusive, free and fair election scheduled for the 21st of February. Ronke Kolaore reports that the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Khadija Abba Ibrahim, presented the items to the Nigerian government in Niamey, the country's capital.
Out of the 17 million people in Niger, about 7.5 are eligible to vote. The incumbent President Mahmoudou Issoufou is running for his second term.
There to court congestion with those who should know. Tuesday Live, informative, educative and engaging. Damn to be told. Join us.
Nigeria will hello. For 2017, Nigeria will join body with every other country for this world to enter the battle what they call digital broadcasting. This digital broadcasting, it better pass those time when we say we dey go outside go the Tonton TV. And not be that one. You go sit down for your comfort now. You go watch better. The TV go clear way. The people with inside go clear way. The sound man go come out well. If channel say go increase the local TV waiting for the Obodo Nigeria say go come out face where come clear well. My people. Nigeria, they enter digital.
The government of Akwa Ibom State announces the passage to glory of our illustrious son and one-time military governor of Old Cross River State, Navy Captain Edet Akwanachibong, retired, who departed this mortal realm at the age of 77. Funeral arrangement is announced by the family as follows. Sunday, February 14, 2016, opening of Morning House at his residence, number 73, Uraikwa Road, Uyo. Thursday, February 18, 2016, Night of Songs at his residence. Friday, February 19, 2016, lying in state at his residence by 8 a.m., lying in state at the Executive Council Chambers, Office of the Governor of Akwa Ibom State by 10 a.m., and funeral service at Community Secondary Commercial School, Ibiakwitam, along Calabar Isu Road by 11 a.m. By this message, friends of the family, sympathizers, and indeed all well-wishers are welcome to join us as we bid farewell to our illustrious son. Announcers, Mr. Anyekan Umana, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Chairman, Publicity Subcommittee, the Right Honorable Kenneth Archibong, Chief Mourner.
Africa's first UN Secretary General, Boutros Ghali, dies at 93. Ronke Kolaole has more on Global Tidbits.
The follow-up to Monday's grenade attack, Burundi government has slapped a ban on motorcycles from plying Bujumbura with the conviction that they are often used by criminals to explode bombs. Officials of the Nairobi County government temporarily shut down the premises of
these facilities we are talking about are active.
most of our young people will be engaged and will have no time to go and plan how to kidnap people or to involve themselves in Boko Haram.
5 days after losing by a lone goal to Vipers Football Club of Uganda in the first leg of the CAF Champions League in Kampala, Nigerian champions Enyimba Football Club of Aba are up against Federation Cup winners Akwa United of Uyo in the Charity Cup match. The match, which will traditionally open the 2015-2016 Nigerian Professional Football League season, will hold at the Abuja National Stadium on Wednesday. Akwa United are brimming with immense confidence following a round of marvelous results in Pont-Noir in the CAF Confederation Cup first leg match, where they beat Vita Club Mokanda of Congo by a lone goal. The World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, has stepped up drug test schedule for athletes ahead of the 2016 Rio Olympics. The International Swimming Federation, FINA, will oversee the initiative after allegations that the body was not doing enough to combat doping in the sport. With sports update, Kenan Ima Abodike, NTA News.
Now Wednesday's weather prospects.
We have observed a little northward pull of the ITD, and by this we mean the meeting point between the dry northeasterly winds and the moist southwesterly winds, which indicates the influx of more moisture into the country, thereby keeping the southern cities in partly cloudy to cloudy conditions, with slim chances of light showers over some parts of the coastal cities, some places like Calabar and some parts of Port Harcourt areas, and the rest of the country is still